Hey guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about solving a system of equations by substitution. Okay, this is a lot of skills that you've already learned, putting it all in one nice, neat little thing. Okay, so up top you should see a graph. I want you to go ahead and mark that off. We're going to look at it some other time. Okay, so don't worry about that, just go ahead and mark that off. Okay, today's key point. I want you to know that systems of equations, or systems of linear equations, are ordered pairs. Okay, so write down systems of linear equations are ordered pairs. Okay, and remember, an ordered pair is just a coordinate with an x coordinate and a y coordinate. Remember that x always comes before y. Okay, so when we find our x coordinate or our y coordinate, we're going to be able to substitute in and find the other coordinate, and then you must write your solution as an ordered pair. Okay, so we'll go through all of those steps here in just a second. Okay, so your 4 steps of solving a linear system by substitution. Okay, make sure you write every one of these steps down. Okay, first step is to solve for x or y in one of your equations. Okay, solve for x or y in one equation. Okay, so that's basically like solving for x or solving for y. So let's say you had an equation like 2x plus y equals 10. Well, you'd want to solve for y or x. Let's just solve for y in this case. Subtract 2x on both sides, and that gives you y equals minus 2x plus 10. Okay, so that is how you would solve for y or x. That's what I mean by that. Okay, step 2 is to substitute in or substitute to find one variable. Okay, and we will go over this in detail in just a minute. Okay, so substitute to find one variable. Okay, step 3. Plug your answer back into the equation. To find the other variable. Okay, plug your answer back into the equation to find the other variable. And then finally, write answer as ordered pair. Okay, so there's your 4 steps to solving a linear system by substitution. If you need to pause the video so you can get all these down, please do. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start on these guys. Okay, so let's start on number 1. Remember, our first step is to solve for x or y. You need to look and see if there's one of these equations that has already happened. And if you can see that, we already have one where x is by itself. It's already solved for. Okay, so we know that x is 4y. Okay, x is 4y. So every time you see an x in your other equation, you can plug in 4y. Okay, so let's rewrite this equation. Step 2 is to plug in to the other equation and solve for one of the variables. Okay, so we know x is 4y, so we're going to rewrite the top equation as 4y instead of x minus y equals 9. Okay, now our goal is just to solve this equation for y. And if you have 4 y's and you subtract y, you have 3 y's left. Okay, and then we have 3y equals 9. We're going to divide each side by 3. And we have our first part of our solution, y equals 3. Okay? So now your third step is to take the solution you found and plug it back in to either one of these y's. Okay, it's really up to you. Okay, but I find the bottom equation to be a little easier, so I'm going to plug that in. X equals 4 times 3, and that's our y that we found over here. And then x would equal 12. Okay, so we have both parts of our solution. Remember, we put it in our ordered pair form, and that would give us the solution, 12, 3. Okay, so that is the ordered pair that makes both of these equations true. Okay? All right, let's try another example. Okay, so here's example number 2. We're doing the same thing. First step, we want to find the one that's solved for. Okay, so of course that is this one. And we know that y is 2x. Okay, so every time we see a y in our other equation, we can plug in 2x into that spot. Okay, so let's rewrite that equation. We would have minus x plus 2x equals 5. Okay, and if you have minus x and you add 2, that gives you 1x. Okay, so we have x equals 5, and we're done. Okay, so that was an easy one. Did the math mostly for us. Okay, so now that once you've found that variable, you can just plug it back into one of your equations. You can either plug it in here, or you can plug it in here. It doesn't matter. Okay, so that gives us, let's do the top one. That gives us y equals 2 times our variable that we found for y, or for x, which was 5. And then y equals 10. Okay, we want to plug that ordered pair in, and we have our final solution of 5, 10. Okay, and that is the ordered pair that makes both of these equations true. Make sure you stop and take a break if you need to. Very important. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. Okay, we have both of them solved for. Well, in that case, what can we do? We know that y is 4x minus 3, and we know that y is 2x plus 11. So aren't they equal to each other? Well, yeah. Okay, those two things are equal to each other. So we can either plug this guy in here, or we can plug in 4x minus 3 into this y. It does not matter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug 2x or 4x minus 3 into y on the bottom equation. And so if we write that, we get 4x minus 3 equals 2x plus 11. And then we have a variable on both sides equation. So we would subtract 2x on both sides. Those x's go bye-bye. 4 minus 2 is 2x minus 3 equals 11. Then we have to undo subtraction with addition. And that gives us 2x equals 14. And of course, we undo multiplication with division. And that gives us x equals 7. Okay, so that gives us half of our solution. But we need to plug back in our x into either this x or this x. I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom equation because there's no subtraction. Okay, so we have y equals 2 times 7 plus 11. And 2 times 7 is 14. Add 11, and you get y equals 25. Okay, so our ordered pair solution is 7, 25. Okay, hopefully these few examples have helped out a good bit. Okay, so here is your homework for today. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there are 2 on the back. So 6 problems that you can be working on today. Okay, go ahead and get started. Great job.